The other prisoners hate him, maybe because of his Nazi tattoos.
I'm a supporter of the Aryan Brotherhood, and that is their symbol, cloverleaf and swastika. That's common in U.S. prisons, and I'm a fan.
In Bulgaria, Stanislav won't win a popularity contest with right-wing symbols like that.
Upstairs in the prison, most of the inmates are of Roma origin. My nickname here is the German. Because that's my nickname and I have swastikas tattooed on my body, the Roma think that I'm a Nazi and that I hate them. That's where all my problems come from.
Bulgaria. Many inmates from a Roma background. Foreigners, Nazis, criminals, locked in, together, in one of the world's toughest prisons. Add to the mix seemingly bored prison guards who, behind the scenes, can set their own standards of cruelty. A completely run-down prison system, with the heat or electricity on for sometimes only an hour during the day, and atrocious sanitary conditions. A volatile mix. Especially for people who have come here more or less by accident, completely unprepared, and for the most part, innocent. Like refugees Rashid and Hamza from Afghanistan. Smugglers brought them to the Bulgarian border. There, the police arrested them. Ironclad judgment, 4 years prison for illegally crossing the border.
The first when I came here, sir, there was all the Bulgarians, and they beat us because we don't know. They said, one of them says, I'm killer, I killed somebody. Some says, I'm thief, I'm this, I'm this. They beat us and they're cleaning the floor from us and they washed the toilets. Hey, you have to do, because they know they are refugee. We are normal. Sometimes I'm afraid.
And the conditions?
Very tough, of course, because no good food, no electricity for 24 hours.
If they would have known what awaited them, they would have stayed in their war-torn country.
I've been injured for 6 months and I'm in pain, but the doctor could not help me here. Isolation is really getting to me.
If they don't want us here, please send us back in Afghanistan. Before coming in Bulgaria, I don't know the prison here. If I know, I never come.
Refugees who would rather return to their war-torn country of Afghanistan than staying one more day in this prison. It gives us an idea how tough and relentless Sofia Central Prison is. All foreign convicts end up in Sofia Central Prison no matter where they committed their crimes in Bulgaria, no matter how small the crime. Only the worst of Bulgarian nationals, on the other hand, are sent here. Anything from 5 years to life. Robbers, rapists, murderers. Like Nevkov, 37 years old, 20-year sentence for attempted murder of 2 police officers. Is this really his cell, or was it switched for our camera crew? Nevkov has completely withdrawn into himself. The separation from his partner and daughter has taken a terrible toll.
I'm lucky that my girlfriend is waiting for me. That only happens once in a million times.
Visits of relatives are allowed only twice a month. A glass pane separates the inmates from their loved ones. Touching impossible. Relationships are hard to sustain.
Many of the prisoners here have been abandoned by the outside world. They don't have anyone anymore.
The only thing Nevkov can do is hope that his girlfriend is prepared to wait 20 years. One of the very few reliefs of prison life, mealtime. The few helpers who distribute the food are searched repeatedly before entering the station. The menu for this evening, once again, is soup with bread. The guards check the bowls carefully because the prisoners could smuggle contraband between the stations. Many of the men go to bed hungry after this beggar's-type meal. An inmate can count himself lucky if relatives and friends supply him with extra food. Although there are no refrigerators or stoves to prepare anything, it seems as if not even a small modicum of independence is allowed. The day in Sofia Central Prison ends after mealtime. And the next day begins like all the other days before it, stretching your legs behind bars, killing time, and looking forward to the prison yard in one of the toughest prisons in the world, in a country that is part of the EU but does not implement the guidelines of the Union for its penal system. A prison where every inmate has less than 2 square meters of space to live, and where inter-prisoner violence is endemic, and guards allegedly harass the prisoners on a regular basis. In the foreigners' cell block, a man has been fighting for the rights of inmates for more than 8 years. When it comes to describing the conditions in Bulgaria's horror jail, the Australian Jock Paul Freeman does not mince his words.
This prison is so tough because to survive here, either you have to be psychologically strong or insane, or you go insane.
In Jock's eyes, it is primarily the lack of perspective that makes this prison one of the toughest in the world.
In Western European prisons, you have activity, you have daily activity, you go to work, you have school, you have education. Here, the majority of prisoners, 90% of them, are locked in their wings all day, every day, for years and years on end.
And the other 10%? They belong to an elite minority, inhabiting a comfortable parallel universe within prison walls.
There's no gangs in Bulgarian prisons, but there absolutely is a hierarchy, absolutely. Foreigners are kind of at the lowest on the totem pole. Then Roma are one tier above us, and then white Bulgarians are on the top of the totem pole. The guards sympathize with the white Bulgarian prisoners.
While the rest of the prisoners vegetate between cell and station, the white Bulgars use a modern and well-equipped boxing gym. The majority of these prisoners belong to organized crime. Trafficking, pimping, and extortion are the major offenses here. Zlatko is one of them. We wonder what he did on the outside.
You want from somebody to pay him for something he don't know, he don't want, or something like that. I don't know how to explain in English, but extortion, I think, is the word. Or racketeering, something like that.
In the boxing gym, the inmates are preparing for their time after prison, supported by former Bulgarian boxing champions who volunteer to train this elite group of prisoners. After all, exercise is important for harmonious coexistence.
If so many men are locked together in one place, there is, of course, aggression and violence. Therefore, it is important that there are things to do like fitness, painting, and so on. Some even like going to church.
An extensive leisure program for repeat offenders too.
I was in here for the first time 10 years ago when I was much younger. Yes, when so many men are locked together, that's dangerous. There are all sorts of criminals in here. This is the largest prison in Bulgaria, after all.
Sofia Central Prison, a horror jail behind crumbling walls and barbed wire. disparate treatment of prisoners. While the majority of prisoners enjoy 90 minutes yard time among crumbling facades as the highlight of their days, another elite group enjoys extensive hobbies. And innocent refugees waste away between felons. In one of the world's toughest prisons. Jacques-Paul Freeman has to tough it out another 12 years here in Sofia. He worries about his loved ones more than about himself.
My family want me back in Australia, and I think for them sometimes it's harder for them than for me because I know in my mind that I'm okay even when situation's really bad.
Perseverance. Stanislav wants to tough it out too. With concrete goals in mind, he has 3 more years left of the 15-year sentence he got for murder with robbery.
I hope I come out alive and healthy. My brothers live in Germany. I want to go there, live my life in Munich. Like I did before, I'd like to work with motorcycles. I'd like to train children in motocross.
Commander Taiko Venkov and his group of wardens will continue to take decisive action with strict disciplinary measures to keep the prisoners in check. Permanent searches, arbitrary lockups, merciless punishment in the isolation cells. This is the way Commander Venkov and his team want to make better people out of criminals inside this horror jail. Hamza, the former detainee, is battling with nightmares and panic attacks.
I can't express it in words. When I look down, oh my God. I don't want to go in there ever again. I'm still afraid something could go wrong, and they'll drag me back.